Thanks, David. Yes, so for those who don't know me, I'm John Boyd. I'm the contracts manager for our family business, Boyd Brothers Salthouse Limited. We like to think we're the leading EV infrastructure provider. And I've been asked along here today, as David said, to give a perspective on how the charge points appear on the ground, I suppose. So what I'll do is I'll run through a couple of points. One is the challenges that we face on a daily basis, I suppose. I'll give a wee perspective into how the business entered this magic world of EV charging. Run through some of the projects that we've got on at the moment and some of the plans that we have for expanding the business to deal with the demand, I suppose, for the need for infrastructure. So, our business, family business, is 50-year-olds this year. Please feel free to sing happy birthday later on. Started by my grandfather, 1967, and here on the business until 1983, where he handed the control to his two sons, my father and Stephen's father. And the business was incorporated as Boyd Brothers Salthouse Limited, which is still the trading title at the moment. So we're now a third generation family business, as I say, 50-year-old, and the reputation that our business has received over the past 50 years is still the driving force behind our business. Because reputation is everything, and your business is won and lost, I guess, on your reputation. So the business predominantly worked in the construction industry until the economic downturn about 5-6 years ago, where we kind of refocused the business. We came away from the construction industry altogether, and we looked at some more avenues in order, obviously, to generate some more work. And we decided to go down the renewables route. We looked at three main avenues: solar PV, small-scale wind turbines, and electric vehicle charging infrastructure. The business is now split into two divisions. We still have the contracting industry, which deals with all the general electric contracting needs. And we have the renewables division, which is doing pretty well. So the business itself, Boyd Brothers Salthouse Limited, we traded from Salthouse, which is a small village that we still live in it today. We traded there for 48 years. We relocated to the new premises in Livingston about 2.5 years ago, which is where we trade from today. That's about the history. So, our journey into the EV infrastructure. As I say, about 5 years ago, we took the decision to come away from the construction industry and focus on renewables. The slides there shows the very first projects that we were involved in. One was for Chivas Regal, Chivas Brothers, which was 522 kilowatt posts across 3 sites. And the second one was for Caledonian McBrain, which was 5 rapids across 3 sites. Now, the Caledonian McBrain site still plays a key role in what we do today in terms of, I'll go on to my next slides, the real need to do a site survey, to carry out site surveys. So the Caledonian McBrain sites, 3 of them were on the Western Islands, 2 were still on the mainland but away out on the west coast. So we faced quite significant challenges in terms of putting these charge points in place. So that's really how we got into the sort of infrastructure type thing, and the business has grown from there in terms of what we do with infrastructure. So some of the challenges that we face, as I said, the first one there, it's not so much a challenge but a necessity, which is the need to carry out site surveys. So for every inquiry that comes into us, we carry out a site survey. We'll go to every site and we will look at that site on a site-to-site basis. We can gain so much knowledge just from being there for 5-10 minutes. So we know, we can get a feel for if it's a car park, the ground conditions, where the charge point's going to be located. Is there overhead power lines, for example? underground services. The slide down at the bottom there, that's Castle Bay Barra, so again that goes back to the Calmac job. That was the ground that we faced when we got to site. So as you can see, it's an island, it's basically, it's a big rock. So achieving an earth there was a challenge for us. So as you can see there, that's our earth spike away down here. There was actually 10 earth spikes in that job. We had to keep going until we got the resistance down. So as I say, that is still a catalyst for us today, and that's why we survey every site. So we will not submit a quotation without going to site to see the job. That way, from a customer's point of view, there'll be no hidden costs within our quotation. What you see is what you get. Because we've been to site, we know the challenges, we know the ground conditions, we know what's involved in terms of getting that charge point in the ground. And the second challenge, which is a big challenge, is working with the DNOs. Sorry, Frank, but it's a big challenge. From our point of view, from an installer, I guess what we would like to see is a more streamlined process in terms of dealing with the DNOs. It takes a long time from the initial site survey to physically getting the charge point in the ground, and the biggest gap within that time frame is dealing with the DNOs, getting the connections sorted, getting the quotations. So from our point of view, we would like to see an engagement between us as infrastructure providers, framework contractors, manufacturers, Transport Scotland, DST as funding providers, and representatives from Scottish Power and SSE. We'd like to see some kind of collaboration in terms of streamlining the process and try and cut the time frame down it takes to get the job from initial conception through to completion. So as I say, we would like to maybe get round the table with these guys and see what we can do to try and just get the quotations through, get the connections through, just streamline the process a bit better, because that really is one of the biggest challenges that we face on an almost daily basis. We're now up to about probably 10 connection applications per week, so you can imagine the length of time it takes to get all these connection applications through the process. It's quite a laborious process. So in terms of our capabilities as a business, what it takes us to deliver these projects. So we've grown the business right from day one. So from day one, it was myself and one of our apprentices at the time, and a civils guy that we brought on board. We started the division, if you like, which we still run today. So we now have dedicated civils teams, and to deal with the sort of timescale that it took for the DNO connections, we brought on our own DNO civils team. So we do all the civils works for the DNO. Speeds up the process. We can offer a more cost-effective solution to the customer. We can get the jobs done a bit quicker. So these guys they're from a utilities background, so they're well versed in digging up the main streets, if you like, and bringing in connections. And also we're electrical contractors, so the electrical team thing came quite easy to us. So we have our own dedicated EV teams, but we also utilise some of the labour from the contracting business if and when we get a bit busy at peak times. And again, our EV division has its own estimating and admin departments. So everyone knows the industry, everyone knows what's happening, so we can kind of speed up the process in terms of getting the connections, all the DNO applications and the quotations. We can speed up the process with that. So the business has continued to develop and investment, training our staff. We run our own plant, our own equipment, it's all our own stuff, which helps us as well in terms of our capabilities. Next slide, which we'll go on to as well, we set up an off-site manufacturing facility. So In terms of all the feeder cabinets that's required for the chargers, all the switchgear, all the GRP enclosures, we manufacture all them ourselves now before they've been sent to site. And we now have the capabilities, to deal with the largest infrastructure programmes and projects that's going on at the moment. I'll touch on a bit of the off-site manufacturing that we do. So the first slide shows one of the GRPs, glass reinforced plastic enclosures getting built with all the switchgear in it, and that's then built and tested in our warehouse, fully assembled to the customer's requirements. Whatever's going on site. It's then put in the back of our own lorries and high-abs and taken to site where it's installed, again with our own teams. We never use subcontracted labour. Every installation we do is from our own directly employed teams. Again, in terms of from an installer's point of view, we have full control over every installation from start to finish. It's a full turnkey service. Well, we don't have control over two things. One is the weather, obviously, and the other is the DNOs, so we've got control over everything else. So yeah, that's in terms of that process. We manufacture and send everything out fully tested and assembled. It saves the time on site as well. You don't have electricians on site building the enclosures in this kind of weather. So it's built in controlled conditions. Everything's fully tested before it goes to site. So examples of some of the projects that we've got going on at the moment. Maxim Park at Eurocentral, which is on the M8 corridor, for those that don't know that. For a long time there was no charging facilities whatsoever between Edinburgh and Glasgow, so this one's ready to go. It should be live in January, just went on the meters being installed. We're good to go there. So in terms of some of the challenges that we faced as an installer on that project, again, for those that don't know that location, that was the old Chung Wah factory where they made televisions, they made the tubes for the televisions. And they basically flattened the factory and built this new office development. And one of the biggest challenges that we faced there was the excavations. So we done 180 metres of excavations from the substation to the charge point locations. One of the biggest challenges was the ground conditions. A lot of the old factory was still underneath the ground where it is today. We came across reinforced concrete slabs, we came across all drainage, which kind of adds time and some of the challenges on that project. So when it's up and running, it'll have two 160 amp of the new E-volt Raption chargers on there, and it'll also have two 7 kilowatt, again the new Evolve AC posts. So hopefully that's well used with commuters between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Another project is, you'll all be pleased to know, is at Lochee, the charging hub at Lochee for Dundee Council. So work's well underway on that one. We're hoping to be live end of January there. Getting shown my time here. Yeah, so plans for the future as an installation contractor. In January, we're adding another 3 civils teams onto the squads. So again, being able to take full advantage of the infrastructure that's needed in this country. Again, hubs, we see the hubs becoming the future of charging. And us as a business, we look to be well placed in terms of dealing with these hubs and being able to install them. Again, the renewables we see as a necessary complement to EV charging. So we carry out EV charging. We do solar PV and we do small scale wind, which all lends itself well to EV charging in terms of generation and usage through the charging. We also have plans to expand the business to become a nationwide infrastructure provider. Early next year we'll be relocating to London to deal with the south of England, obviously the infrastructure that's required down there. And one last thing is a wee plug for the business. Embracing social media. We're kind of quite behind the times, I guess. So we're going to be quite active on social media, Twitter and Facebook and all the kind of things. So please feel free to give us a follow, and we'll keep you guys updated with where we are in terms of projects, new chargers, new locations type things. So yeah, thanks very much, and any questions?